Before the arrival of the Spanish in the Philippines, there was no unified name for the entire archipelago. The islands were inhabited by various indigenous groups, each with their own languages, cultures, and names for their respective territories. Here are a few examples of names used by indigenous groups, or what others refer to parts of what is now the Philippines. Ancient Filipinos were known for their exceptional trading skills. The Philippines has a rich history of maritime and cultural exchanges with nearby regions and distant civilizations. Indian traders were among those who engaged in trade with the Filipinos. Indian scholars called the Philippines Panupayana, which is an ancient Sanskrit term meaning land surrounded by water. This name was used by Indian scholars because of the Philippines' abundance of islands, which are surrounded by water. One of the earliest Indian scholars to mention was Aryabhata, an astronomer and mathematician who lived in the 2nd century AD. Are you about to mention Panupayana in an astronomical treatise, The Area of Asia? He described Panupayana as a land of golden spices, and he said that it wasn't located in the eastern seas. The major ethnic groups in Southeast Asia, specifically the Malay people, referred to the islands of the Philippines as before the arrival of the Spaniards. The term Selangan originates from the Malay word Chalangan, which translates to East. English. It was used because the Philippines is the eastern part of Southeast Asia. When viewed from the Malay Peninsula and nearby areas, it is also worth noting that the Arab traveler Ibn Battuta, who visited the Philippines in the 14th century, mentioned the Philippines in his writings. In his accounts, Ibn Battuta referred to the Philippines as Chalangan and could be used to describe the entirety of the Philippines, but it could also be used to refer to certain such parts, as the eastern Visayas region. Tawalisi is a term used to describe the islands of the Philippines. It comes from the Samabaja language, spoken by the indigenous Samabaja people of the Philippines. The word translates to wandering people of the reflecting sea, the seafaring lifestyle and strong connection to the ocean of the Samabajo community. The term Tawalis was also mentioned in the Journal of Ibn Battuta, a Moroccan traveler who visited the Philippines in the 14th century. According to his accounts, Talalisi referred to a prosperous and influential kingdom. He described the people of Talalisi as traders and possessing a strong military. However, Ibn Battuta did not provide any specific information about the location of Talalisi. Some scholars believe that Talalisi was located in the Philippines, specifically referring to the inhabited islands by the Samabajo people. Pre-colonial Philippines had many kingdoms, and is one of them that was known to other countries. Maju was a kingdom believed to be located in present-day Mindoro or nearby regions. It was a wealthy kingdom that was known for its trade in gold, pearls, and other goods. It was an important trade kingdom in the South China Sea. The first mentioned of Wasanson dynasty historical records. It was also mentioned in the Sumo Oriental, a travelogue written by the Portuguese explorer Pires in the early 16th century. Pires described Mayi as a large kingdom located on an island in the South China Sea. The exact location of Mai is still debated by historians. Some believe that it was located on the island of Maidara, while others believe that it was located on the island of Palawan. There is also evidence to suggest that Mai may have been located on a different island altogether. Regardless of its exact location, Mai was an important trade kingdom in the South China Sea. The Tagalog people of the Philippines called their Langkarian Nang Tondo, or Kingdom of Tondo. This major kingdom existed from the 16th century, and it was located in the area that is now Manila. Tondo was one of the most powerful kingdoms in the archipelago, and it was a major trading hub with close ties to China and other Asian countries. The kingdom was ruled by a line of powerful kings, including Lucangelo, who was known for his military prowess and his diplomatic skills. Lucangelo was able to maintain Tondo's from its neighbors, and he even managed to forge an alliance with the Spanish conquistador Miguel López de Legazpi. However, Tondo's independence was not to last. In 1571, Legazpi's forces attacked Tondo and defeated the Tagalog army. The kingdom was then incorporated into the Spanish capital. Empire. Cellular was renamed Manila. There is one more powerful kingdom in pre-colonial Philippines known as the Kingdom of Pangasinan. The Pangasinan people, who were part of a group called the Austronesians, founded this kingdom. They were still traders, navigators, and their kingdom wasn't a great location for trade. Pangasinan was a place where goods from China, Japan, and Southeast Asia would stop to be traded. People brought things like rice, salt, clothes, and metalwork to exchange. It was a bustling hub of commerce and brought wealth to the kingdom. The kingdom also had a rich culture and value learning. The people of Pangasinan knew how to read and write using a script called Bivayon. Sadly, the kingdom's independence did not last forever. In the 16th century, the Spanish came and conquered Pangasinan. They introduced a system called encamienda, which forced the native people into labor and demanded tribute from them. This exploitation was a dark chapter in the history of Pangasinan. Nevertheless, the legacy of the kingdom of Pangasinan lives on. One of the indigenous groups who settled earlier was the Mangan people, who mostly live on the island of Mindoro. They call the place with a mountain in the Philippines Banho. The name Betterhall comes from the banking word banner, which means cloud. The mountain is often shrouded in hence clouds. The name. For the Mangan people, Dinoho was not just an ordinary mountain. It was considered the dwelling place of the gods and held great importance in their culture. They believed that the mountain provided them with life and abundance. They often visited Bangaha to pray and seek blessings. This connection to the mountain was a significant part of their spiritual practices and beliefs. In the Philippines today, there is a mountain located in the island called of Luzon. Mount Betahal. It is mostly visited by pilgrims, religious groups, and individuals for prayer, cleansing, and other spiritual activities. The Lumad peoples called the Philippines before the Spanish king because the word means abundance or prosperity in the Mandaya language. The Lumad peoples have a strong connection to the land and believe that it is not just a place but also an essential part of who they are, their spirituality, and their way of life. They believe that the Philippines is a land of abundance and prosperity, and they call it Katawan to reflect this belief. The Spanish came to the Philippines in the 16th century, and they brought with them their own language and culture. The Lumad peoples were forced to adopt Spanish language and culture, and the word Katawan was eventually forgotten. However, in the 1980s, the Lumad peoples began to reclaim their culture, and the word Katawan was revived. Today, the word Katawan is used to refer to the Katawan Festival, which is a celebration of the rich Lumad culture and heritage.